Welcome to the next video in the CTIN Explainer series. In this video, you will learn about the Civic Tech in Africa Evidence Map. In 2022, CTIN embarked on a research journey in collaboration with the African Centre for Evidence. Together, we explored the extent and scope of African civic tech research. The Civic Tech Evidence Map aimed to create a common, up-to-date evidence or knowledge base about civic tech in the African context to support decision-making and advocacy in relation to civic tech, including more broadly civil society innovation, tech for good, and digital governance. At CTIN, we define civic tech as the appropriate and effective use of digital innovation in connecting government and citizens, in public participation, in transparency, accountability, and in delivering public services. The evidence map visually displays the size, nature, and scope of research on African civic tech. Importantly, the tool also uses an interactive and user-friendly interface that allows one to engage with the evidence base, while also being able to find, read literature, and download individual literature sources. This allows for knowledge creation, sharing, and learning. As a living resource and knowledge hub, we aim to update the Civic Tech in Africa Evidence Map as part of our ongoing research strategy. Visit civictech.africa and hover over the Databases tab. Then click Civic Tech Evidence Map. From there, click View the Evidence Map button. You will arrive at the Evidence Map interface. As part of the research screening and coding process, we created a list of inclusion criteria so that we could collect relevant research outputs, both academic and non-academic sources. The y-axis provides a list of civic tech functions and characteristics, including what tools are used, the methods in which they are deployed. On the other hand, the x-axis provides the expressions of how civic tech is used in various contexts. The x-axis also indicates how civic tech is used, received, and perceived by citizens and the broader policy and governance implications thereof. The evidence map is essentially a map of the research. It provides an overview and visual representation of the size, nature, and patterns of civic tech research conducted in Africa. How to explore the Civic Tech Evidence Map. As a starting point, refer to the top of the web page. Here, you will be able to navigate the evidence map through searching for specific research using the filter button. For example, if you are interested in looking at the types of research looking at civic tech in Angola, you can search by country and by region. You can also compare research between two countries or amongst several countries. You are also able to search for specific types of civic tech tools, for example, USSD technology or social media platforms, etc. If you move to the far right of the header banner, you can view the entire list of evidence sources, i.e. literature collected. From here, you can search for authors, research titles, and publication years. You can download research entries directly from the evidence record list, or alternatively from the evidence map itself. Now, to understand the visualization on the evidence map, the size of the circles, or donut maps as we call them, represents the number of studies in particular research sub-themes. The bigger the size of the donut, the larger the number of studies. The smaller the donut size, it represents a smaller number of studies. The different colors within each donut map represents the different sources of evidence from which the research is published. These categories include the knowledge sector, academic think tanks and research institutions, the private sector, the government sector, and the civic sector, including non-profit, non-governmental organizations, community-based organizations, and individual civil society actors. Looking at the evidence map allows you to see the areas in which research on African civic tech is concentrated, as well as the areas in which research is lacking. The empty spaces on the evidence map show existing research gaps. It is important to understand that the evidence map is a snapshot of the current research landscape. CTIN will update the evidence map every quarter. Feel free to explore the evidence map and let us know what you think. If you have conducted any research on African civic tech and it is not included in the Civic Tech Evidence Map, please email info@civictech.africa and we will review the research. Thank you and have fun learning about the world of civic tech in Africa.